know how widely popular and famous she is, how much impact she's had on the WNBA, on women's college basketball, on women's sports. She's like one of the stars, right? And how did you get her to go to Iowa? Like, what was that like? I'm so curious at how that happened, and how did you know, how did you keep her there for the 4 years? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, well, getting her was quite an experience because we started recruiting her when she was in seventh grade. You know, she's an hour and 45 minutes away from Iowa's campus. So we were recruiting her hard right from the beginning, you know,
Good for
following her around
you.
many trips down I-80 to Des Moines. Um, so we kind of had that relationship. We really built a good relationship. But I don't know if you
Yeah.
know the story that she actually didn't commit to Iowa first. She committed to Notre Dame. And you know, she went to a Catholic high school, and it's, you know, that was a big deal. And she committed to Muffet in Notre Dame, and then we kind of noticed, well, she never posted that she did. She, you know, she told us she was going there, but she never posted on social media or anything like that. 3 weeks go
Oh,
by, and I get a phone call from her saying, "If do you still have room for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do."
Let me think about that.
Yeah, yeah. So
yes.
I think it was really the closeness to home. She's a home girl, right? You know, we're an hour and 45
Yeah.
minutes away. And we really had developed some really good relationships. And the year before
Oh,
we had made it to the Elite Eight, we got beat by Baylor to go to the Final Four. Megan Gustafson was the National Player of the Year from our team. And we went right from there to her home visit. And so I think we could prove to her, listen, we can do this. We can get to the Final Four. We're one game away right now. We just had the
right.
National Player of the Year on our team. So, you know, these are things that you can accomplish at Iowa. You know, we were on the same page. We wanted to go that Final Four so badly.
Okay, when did you realize like this kid is special?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, her first year, it was COVID. So she played in front of nobody. I mean, there was, you know, nobody in the stands except for cardboard cutouts and things. So it was really unusual that not people didn't get to see her play. And then her sophomore year, you know, that's when the first time people were coming into the gyms again and got to see her. But her junior year was when she really broke out. We knew we
Right.
had something special just from seeing her in practice every day, you know, the minute she
Uh-huh.
stepped foot on campus. But I don't think the world got to see her until really her junior year.
What do you think is like I'm so curious about this because coaches have such a unique insight into the mind, the talent and the physicality. Like you see them on such a personal level on a day-to-day basis. What is the thing with her that is the difference maker? That's the differentiator that can put her into the stratosphere that she's earned.
Yeah, she's an
Good question.
unbelievable competitor. And I don't care what you're playing. Like, and she was a great soccer player. And
Yeah.
she
Oh, I
really,
know. I've heard that.
yeah, and she attributes a lot of her passing angles to learning that on the soccer field. And it's so true. Like, she is the best. Every time, you know, 3 point shooting, she is the best passer. It's amazing. And so she attributes a lot of that to soccer, but competitiveness, like, I don't care if you're playing checkers, if you're playing Uno. I mean, the girl is going to win. And she has no fear of failure. And that, I think, allows her to really put
Interesting.
herself out there and risk, like with those threes and with some of those unbelievable
Ah,
passes that other people be like, you know, I might fail. There's none of that with her. And then she works her butt off, quite honestly. I mean, the kid works. She's in the gym. You know, she takes care of all the things mentally as well as physically. She's learned how to do that, take care of her body. You know, first she didn't maybe eat the best. You know, she's better at all those things now.
as she's rising and you're seeing this cultural shift, I know, Coach, you're such a big proponent, which is why we love you, of team culture and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how did you balance all that? And maybe I've heard stories of Caitlin being very engaged in that as well, like recognizing that, you know, I've got to also shine some light on my teammates.
Yeah, and she didn't understand that at first, and that was one of the things we really had to work on. Was because, you know, and I don't blame her. She comes from a high school where she did everything. She came from an AU program where she did everything, And now she's expected to come to a university and share the wealth. It's different, right? And it's a mindset that's got to change a little bit. So we really worked hard on that. And we tried to explain to our players, listen, when her light shines, it shines on all of us. And we're all going to have more opportunities because of her. And so we really had a lot of frank, open conversations about this stuff. And we did it all the time. It wasn't like a one-time thing, one time, okay, let's have a little seminar on culture building. We believed in it. And we did, I think we did culture building every day. We did team meetings every week where we really dove into like, kids and what made them tick and how do you hold your teammates accountable? And how are you when people hold you accountable? How do you act? So all those things are so important to culture building.
Yes.
And we did a ton of it. I was just started to tell Abby this story that one of the things we did was actually read her book, Wolfpack, which was amazing. And so I have this thing where after shoot around on game days, I always sit everybody around our circle and we talk about different issues, women's issues. It could be political, anything, it could be racial, it could be anything that's going on in the media right now. But also let's, how do we get motivated for this game? So anyway, and Wolfpack was 1 year where we read that, and we just read a chapter every time or part of a chapter, and then we discussed it as a team, and that got us through the 2019 year. We went to the Elite Eight.
That's so cool.
But I hate to tell you this, Abby, but Billie Jean's got you beat because we read Pressure is a Privilege 1 year and we got to the Final Four. So
son of a bitch.
I do love that you take the time to do that, though. I hope there's coaches and parents listening to this,
yes,
and recognizing, like, I think that is such a missed component. We've had Corey Close on, who is very similar to you, Coach, I think, in that way. And we don't do enough of that. Like, just gather the team and plant the seeds. And you can do this at any age. I think the beauty of sports is that we're teaching kids not just to be good athletes, but great humans, most importantly. And you can do that by planting the seed along the way, so that the fact that you would gather them and talk about life or politics or whatever, and then apply that to how to be a good teammate and how to build a stronger unit, is why you were so successful. Like, people think it's mutually exclusive. No, those things are hand in hand. They're not separate. Right?
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. It's like the X's and O's are important. The talent is important.
Right.
But you have to have the culture piece in any team sport. You just have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And getting everybody, it's like a mind meld in a way, right? It doesn't mean we have to actually agree on everything, but the things that we're talking about connect us, right?
100%.
So on the national team, we would be overseas, for hundreds of days of a year. And there's only so much like videos and TV shows you can watch. So we would sit around our meal tables for hours sometimes after a long day of training. And we would just chat, right? We would talk about all the stuff that we'd be thinking about, and we would disagree and we would debate and we would argue and we would talk. And I think it's like this lost art, especially with the cell phones. Sorry. Like, nowadays, when the teams are going to and from games, everybody's on their phones, right? And they're like listening to their music and they're not connecting. And the connection is when I think, there's conversations I've had with teammates, and I'm sure you've seen this on teams you've coached, but you have this heart to heart with a teammate the day before about something random, right? They got their heart broken or whatever. Something's going on with their family. And that player is now running down the court in your world or the field in ours. And I am busting my ass to get in the box because of the conversation.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it was about, it was like, I know this person needs me. So trying to find those conversations that unite people like emotionally, that is
Yeah.
almost as important as it is in practicing the talent and running the plays and doing the tactics and all of
I
it.
agree. I agree. I mean, when you have empathy for your teammates and what their experiences are different from yours, and I want to learn about them and learn about you, it takes it to a totally different level. And I feel like we had that, like at Iowa and those Final Four teams. And it's not always easy when you have like a star like Caitlin in order to accomplish that, but they bought in, and so I feel very blessed that they did that.
Where does that come from with your coaching history? Like, where
Good
did you
question.
go, oh, this is a piece of the puzzle that I think we can do a better job at?
You know, I think it really became from doing a lot of reading, reading a lot of leadership books, listening to other coaches. I really think that, it kind of was a part of my personality too. Like I like people to gather together and to get along and,
Yeah.
so I think it's a combination of all those things, like for sure understanding through leadership books that how important it is.
Especially where you're at now, like you're quote unquote retired. It's a weird thing to retire, but also stay working. Like you retire from one thing and you did it for a long time. You deserve to like literally sail off into the sunset and stay on vacation forever, but you've decided to stay in the game. Why did you decide to stay in the game, and how is your retirement going?
It's so much fun to stay in the game. I mean, you guys, I played in like 79 to 83 in college, and there was like 200 people in the stands. And to see, like I had a half a scholarship, we didn't even have full scholarships back then. So like to see where it's gone, like to how far and I feel really blessed because I got to see it when it was at its infancy to see where it is now. And to me, that is so fun. And I just want to share that with people. I don't want the younger generation to forget about that. I want them to respect that. I want them to just understand how hard people fought for them to have the opportunities they have now, which are incredible. And so I think I can do that by staying involved with the game a little bit, whether that's, I'm going out speaking about leadership or whether that's doing some announcing or, desk work like that.
Do you often think, I hope you do, that you didn't just have like a front row seat to this cultural shift in women's sports? Like you were like in the mosh pit of it all. You were right in the middle of it. Do you think
Making
about that?
it happen, making it happen. You literally you guided and led one of, if not the most famous women's basketball player that has ever touched a basketball. Like you are ushering in the next generation.
I really don't think about it a lot. For one thing,
You should.
to me, Caitlin is just Caitlin. And so I guess, I can still give her crap, I love it.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
honestly,
She loves
when
that.
you're going down that trail to try to win that national championship, you guys, I mean, you're just so locked in and you put the blinders on. You don't even know what's going on around you. And then it's over and you're getting ready for the next one, right? Like you're just doing it again. And so I still don't know if I fully comprehend all that was going on around us because we were oblivious to it. We were locked in. We were in ballrooms and, eating meals together and going to the gym together. We weren't seeing all that was going around us. But I do have a funny story about the first time we were at the Final Four. We were playing South Carolina at Texas. And my daughter was my director of operations. She worked for me for 5 years. And so she was up in the semifinal game. We're beating South Carolina. And she gets the stats from the bench. And she looks up and she locks eyes with Billie Jean King. And she goes, "Shit, Mom, this really is a big deal." She was right.
If the Kinger is here, this is a huge deal.
Yes.
It is. And like, it didn't even occur to us because it was the next game. Let's go. Let's keep
right.
going. And then it's like, oh my God, Billie. Hey, also Biden's, the president's wife was also there, but that didn't matter as much. It was Billie Jean King was there.
Yeah.
Jill
Dr.
Biden,
Jill.
Kinger, yes.
Dr. Biden. That's right.
Dr. Biden.
Coach, we have a couple more questions for you. And I mean this in all sincerity. I would love to read a leadership book written by you. Are you writing one?
I'm not, but I had started a project with a producer and a director.
Let's go.
To do things about lessons, not about just our team would be a